That's an exciting type of music that was created in the United States back in the 1880s and 1890s. When people back then heard this music, they'd clap their hands, get up to dance. It was hard to sit still and just listen. The music made them feel good. That's what they called it, feel-good music. They also called it ragtime. The greatest ragtime musician, they called him the king of ragtime, was this man, Scott Joplin. His name isn't well known nowadays, but back in the early 1900s, his music was everywhere. Wherever there was a piano, someone was sitting down playing his music and feeling good. Scott Joplin died in 1917, and that's when ragtime died. In the 1920s, the roaring 20s, jazz was king. Jazz pushed ragtime right off the stage. Jazz, the big bands, and the swing era of the 20s, the 30s, the 40s. Rock and roll came along in the 50s and 60s, all combined to make ragtime ancient history. So by the late 1960s, early 1970s, there just weren't many people who knew what ragtime was or who recognized the name of Scott Joplin. It looked like this great music was about to disappear. And then, in 1973, Hollywood made a movie called The Sting. Millions of people went to see it. The movie used Scott Joplin's music. So all these people now heard ragtime for the first time, and of course they loved it. Ever since that movie came out, everywhere you go, you hear ragtime. My name is Dennis Kobray, and I'm one of those people who fell in love with ragtime after hearing it in the early 1970s. As a musician and as a storyteller, I began to study Joplin's music and learn about his life so that I could share it with others. I'm dressed as a man would have dressed back in the days when Scott Joplin was writing his music. This is one of the first Joplin rags that I ever learned. It was written in 1902. It's called The Entertainer.